Coming up on Backroads of Montana. Saddle up for the love between riders, their horses, and speed.
I like to go fast. That's just who I am.
Discover the origins of an old Butte neighborhood and a spaghetti sauce recipe.
Food is that great peace binder.
Explore a special canyon in north central Montana. And go on stage, where several small towns come together for a special community event.
They just want to help and be a part of it.
Hold your horses. This episode is on the way.
Backroads of Montana is made possible with production support from the Greater Montana Foundation, encouraging communication on issues, trends, and values of importance to Montanans. The Big Sky Film Grant and the University of Montana.
Home is where Montana is my home. From mountain peaks to prairie lands, the places I have known. And I'm bound to ramble, yes, I'm bound to roam. And when I'm in off the road now, boys, Montana is my home.
Welcome to Backroads of Montana, featuring the incredible people and places across our state. I'm John Twiggs, and on this episode, we're in northeastern Montana, getting a taste of one of Montana's many cultures. It's called Schmeckfest, or the German Festival of Tasting, and each year the remote town of Lustre, where all that's left is the school, plays host to the one-day event. During our show, we'll sample some of the amazing German cuisine, check out the arts and crafts up for bid at the fundraiser auction, and learn about the immigrants of German descent who homesteaded in the area, providing the foundation for this northeastern Montana tradition. A different Montana tradition has 80 years under its belt, and if you have Western wear and a horse, you're invited to join the dozens of Montana families who load up their horse trailers and head 30 miles from Helena to saddle up in a little Montana valley.
It's something that is super fast and exciting.
It's like running a track meet.
The quickest way to a mental escape
You have to be in the moment.
is a fast horse.
If I pull up now, it's going to be too soon, or pull up then, it's going to be too late.
Technique and form
It is exhilarating.
are secondary to speed,
Oh, I need to sit my butt down now.
which makes this pattern horse racing competition, known as a Moxy,
Gotta turn.
a perfect match for Desire Gillum.
I much preferably would like to run fast and not be prim and proper and pretty. That's just not who I am.
In fact, she's always favored speed over style. Desire and her sister grew up on horses, aspiring barrel racers.
We had no clue what we were doing. No clue what we were doing. But we were barrel racers. We just knew we were going to make it big time someday.
Once they harnessed that spirit into competition, they both were naturals. Except when it came to running for royalty.
That's so horrible.
Desire's older sister, Mariah, always had the edge when it came to points for poise.
We will say I have never won princess nor queen, but she has.
But Desire swiftly made a name for herself in the arena.
7 times state champion, 3 times national.
Both girls racked up the ribbons, and like the stories behind them, they're still within reach at their childhood home.
It's just something I always have in my memories, you know.
Oh, that was Dad.
Their folks have been right there for it all. Their dad, quite literally, like in this Moxy event known as the pear sack, where 2 riders clutch the same cloth and race in tandem.
Probably one of my favorites is Desire and I. We set the state record in the pear sack. And it still holds today, 10 years ago.
From winning that first belt buckle to eventually that first saddle, the cowgirls developed their own distinct riding styles.
My sister showed. She has the prim and proper seat. She sits pretty. Her hands are perfect. I don't care if I sit pretty, and I don't care if my hands are perfect. I like to go fast. That's just who I am. Woohoo!
That momentum and her love for the sport
I'll take that turn all day long.
propelled Desire's dream of hosting an Moxy in her hometown of Canyon Creek. And she decided there was no better place to build an arena than her backyard.
If it wasn't for family and my crazy ideas and my husband dealing with my crazy ideas, we probably wouldn't be doing what we're doing, but my crazy ideas pay off sometimes.
It took a decade for Desire and her husband Jeremy to save up for sand and equipment to expand the arena to what it is today.
You get up earlier and get it done.
It's a labor of love.
And every event starts at sunup. And once the competition begins, Desire's duties really hit high gear.
There is no downtime between things.
As soon as she hops off her horse,
Next heat will be
she's back on the microphone to call the next heat.
Sedona 1, Shaley 2, Kimberly 3.
Push, straight, kick hard,
Or
kick hard,
cheering on three generations of riders, from her son Taryn
outside foot,
to her husband Jeremy,
push out.
and even her dad. But even though Desire does it all, she can't be everywhere at once.
It is 110% family.
Her mom keeps times and tracks points. Her dad helps set the property for the next event.
You can't hire anybody to do this stuff, so it's got to be done. Many hands makes the job easier.
Desire's sister takes her precise posture to the four-wheeler to smooth out the sand.
Everybody's got to help out.
Efficiency is key when you're running an event with riders in every age group and skill level.
Anybody can ride, trot, gallop through it. As long as you're having fun with your horses, that's all we honestly care.
The Gillums work hard to make the competitive environment a welcoming one.
It's just so wonderful that everybody helps everybody out. And it gives the kids a sense of like independence and confidence. And that's what I love about it.
Moxy was born out of the idea that the bond between humans and horses is universal. In the 1940s, the Helena Trail Riders decided to develop a uniquely Western horse competition. They took inspiration from a group of people known for centuries of agility on horseback, the Blackfeet tribe, adopting the name Moxy from their ceremonies exercised before hunts or battle. Translated, it means riding big dance, and this version debuted in Helena in 1948. By 1966, a national Moxy brought together riders from across the United States. While today's competitions are a far cry from Moxy's original purpose, at their heart is still the horse.
It's definitely, has grown and expanded from its original concept, but it's all about horsemanship. And it's all about having a good time.
Generations later, the sport has kept its stride, and so have its senior riders.
Well, I'm trying to beat that person every time.
You might slow down, but you still like to get out there and win.
But at the end of the day, this competition is about celebrating each other. And ultimately, that's why Desire and her family get so much joy out of hosting.
We know that families have fun. We know that we made some little kid's day because they won their first belt buckle, or we made somebody's kid day because they are this close to winning their first saddle. And I can remember what it feels like winning your first saddle. It is awesome.
As new generations of horse lovers embrace Moxy, its founding spirit of sportsmanship still rings true. That getting a good time should always be secondary to having one.
That was fun.
With nearly 50 active saddle clubs across the state, Montana horse lovers can find Moxy somewhere within each of the state's 9 districts, typically within a 2-hour drive. The Schmeckfest celebration in northeastern Montana is synonymous with great food. Community members have been cooking and preparing all week, eventually meeting in the high school kitchen for the final steps.
This food is something that has a little touch of the old times, that a lot of people can go back to their grandparents or great-grandparents and remember them cooking that food.
It's all part of a mouth-watering menu.
The Rindfleisch, and that is roast beef. Varenica, that's the cheese pockets. The baked kraut, or sauerkraut. Frischka, fruit pockets that are baked. Tapenade, or pepper nuts. Grain bean soup, that's green bean soup. The Kirschemos is cherry soup. I like to eat the sausages. That's the worst. And you can actually say after you've eaten that, you've had the worst food in Lustre.
Food is an important part of our next story. One of Butte's most storied neighborhoods literally vanished without a trace, but it left behind a savory flavor and aroma. Now, with a little help in the kitchen, we're about to recreate that classic recipe.
We're making an old Butte recipe out of a neighborhood that's disappeared. It's called Meaderville spaghetti. Considering it was a secret recipe, it was a secret that a lot of Medervillians knew, and it's a great taste old Butte. Meaderville, it was an Italian enclave. They spoke the same language, ate the same food, same religion, and in Butte that was big. Still is.
Italian cuisine was developed in the kitchen of the poor. And that's the extraordinary legacy of Italian cuisine. It's a cuisine of the heart. What they lacked in expensive ingredients, they replaced with love. So Italians have always used food as an expression of love and hospitality.
You know, these old boys from Meaderville and old gals, they put their heart and soul into cooking, including liver and hearts and gizzards, and that'd all go in and it'd all get ground up together. According to them, you wasted nothing.
People remember the delightful food smells walking through the streets of Meaderville, not just from the restaurants, but from the homes. A community's vibrancy was expressed through its cuisine. Community had to be built. Community is not something that just happens. Community is cultivated, it's nurtured, centered around the bar and restaurant life and the church life.
You know, Teddy Treparish, he owned called the Rocky Mountain Cafe, and that's what's gonna garner most of the fame, a lot of it coming out of Meaderville. Teddy Treparish had this 13-year-old dishwasher, and her name was Lydia Micheletti, and she's gonna stay with him to the very end, and even when it moved to the Savoy, the new restaurant. And it'll move a third time, and that's when they're gonna call it Lydia's. If you're really looking for a dinner date with history, I mean a real dinner date with history, Lydia's is it. That's old school Butte and old Italian and an incredible treat. Now let's turn it into spaghetti, shall we? I'm going to add 5 special ingredients to this that we usually don't put into spaghetti, and that's what makes it Meaderville. You know, you've asked me a couple of times for the recipe. I've cooked this enough to where I don't need the recipe anymore. I can't give it to you. A couple of things there. First of all, I promised I wouldn't give it out. And number 2, Gus, well, you're not from Butte, so sorry.
The history of Butte is truly an adventure in resilience. People say to this day, the old timers would say to you to this day, Butte has never been the same since the demise of Meaderville. It is now under the Berkeley pit, and it's completely gone. It's completely gone, and what remains, it's the memory, the rich tales, the beautiful traditions that are passed on. Food becomes a language of love, and that all comes from Meaderville.
Let it simmer, let it simmer. All of these flavors have to meld. And then, of course, gotta have a good pasta. You know, there's this book down at the archives, naturalization book, immigration books, the names and people who moved to Butte originally. And when you see those names and you look at the names that we have here in Butte, they're all the same. Butte's home. And the history that you get in Butte is so incredibly authentic. It's true American.
Every dinner at Lydia's, no matter what you order, comes with a mountain of homemade spaghetti and ravioli. Lydia Micheletti handmade 4,000 ravioli each week. And when she got her electric ravioli maker, that number tripled. Today, her baker's table and ravioli maker are still in use. They line up from near and far for this Schmeckfest celebration in the northeastern Montana town of Lustre. It started in 1965. The celebratory event is a far cry from how immigrants of German descent were treated in the early 1900s. Montana was notorious for book burning, language banning, and the strictest sedition laws in the country. After the war years, the hardy homesteaders who traveled from Holland, Ukraine, Germany, and parts of Russia persevered. And today, according to the U.S. Census Bureau, 27% of Montanans are of German descent, the largest immigrant group in the state. It's a lasting collection of people to share their culture. Another collection of people helped create access to our next stop. Tribal members, volunteers, the National Park Service, and other community groups all pitched in on a trail system in north-central Montana. One of the short hikes on the Fort Belknap Reservation isn't short on views of some magnificent natural formations.
We have a hidden gem here and we want to do something about it. I always thought it'd be nice if we had a real good, nice trail system.
This hike is the Hole in the Wall Trail. We're in Mission Canyon near Hayes.
There's a lot of views that you don't see from being on the bottom of the canyon, but you can see them mid-slope going up. Those views change. And as you get to the top, it's really rewarding to be able to look down, look around.
Running water carved this canyon, and it also dissolves, makes caverns and sometimes natural bridges, which is what the hole in the wall is, just a limestone bridge. It's a little bit difficult to get up through the arch. The sediment that makes up the Madison limestone was deposited over 300 million years ago. But once you get up on top, there's a nice trail that takes you over to a scenic point overlooking the Mission Canyon.
It's a spiritual thing, you know, being up here in this canyon. Like sometimes you got a lot of problems in your life going on, you know, and you gotta be closer to God, you know, and get out alone and do some hiking, and that's probably the best medicine for a person, you know. We're really rich in our land. We might not have a whole lot of money or nothing, but we're truly rich in our land and in our people.
The Hole in the Wall hike is in the Mission Canyon on the Fort Belknap Reservation near the town of Hayes. Visitors are welcome, and to get more specific directions, you can check online. While the food is a big attraction at Schmeckfest in northeastern Montana, there's also live entertainment. Area musicians perform. But before that, there's a chance for the community to give back. The annual live auction features items from local craftsmen and artists, from handmade furniture to handmade quilts. There's even an online component for folks who can't make it to Lustre. The proceeds from the auction, the bake sale, and the dinner all go to Lustre Christian School. It's their biggest fundraiser of the year, and another great reason to gather in the community. These days, there are fewer and fewer opportunities for neighbors to get together. In our final story, we get to meet a group of dedicated folks in extreme northeastern Montana. They know how to put on a good show, and their tradition shows that even the smallest communities can share the fun in more ways than one.
Hey, you guys look beautiful. Jonna, is Jonna back there? Yeah, you really need some stuff.
It's 24 hours until opening night, and dress rehearsal is a little chaotic.
Jonna has left the building, just like Elvis. Every year it comes down to that last few days where you think, oh, we can't possibly do it.
In this small town production, everyone pitches in every way possible. Connie Grove is the director.
You're hardly going to see it. I think we're just going to put a
The
little...
makeup helper.
Okay, we're going to do all cheeks on everybody right now, okay?
The people wrangler.
Hey, Dale, get your butt up there.
She even wrote the script for this year's play titled On the Radio, set to debut in her hometown of Antelope.
It's quite hilarious to be able to say dinner theater and the town Antelope all in the same sentence. Let's give her a hand, yeah!
Connie finally found Jonna, and rehearsal is underway.
Are you okay, Mikey?
The play is about a struggling local radio station. A variety of neighboring community members fill out the cast. Paula Thusen came from nearby Dagmar. She's been helping for over a decade.
It's a real adrenaline boost for me. I love it. I love to set myself aside and take on the personality of someone else.
Are you a professional slacker or whatever they're calling it?
Dale Friedrich might be the opposite of that. He started as a cook for the dinner part of the dinner theater, and in the small town spirit, when they needed an actor, he agreed. Sort of.
Out of my comfort zone and nerve-wracking, nervous that it isn't going to work. You do it whether you're very good at it or not.
I bet TC stands for totally cool, am I right?
Bailey Christofferson made the drive from the town of Freud for the weeks of rehearsals. It's his first time in the play, after he literally got a casting call.
I was actually taking a nap one day and got a phone call, woke up. Hey, do you want to be in the Antelope Dinner Theater? And oh, sure.
Bailey is joining a long-standing tradition. It started in 1996 when a group of locals formed the Big Muddy Players, and the Antelope Dinner Theater was born. Doris Romstad and Ardith Hedges directed the early shows before handing it over to Margaret Hoven, who led the acting troupe until 2023. And that's when Connie took over.
I think a little eyeliner is always the best thing.
They wrap rehearsal by helping the youngest cast members they've ever had.
Big arms, yay!
Everyone is ready for opening night.
All day I was a little anxious at work. And now that we've got through this dress rehearsal and had a few people see it, I'm really excited for tomorrow.
After the actors leave, there's more work to be done. Diane Spokley has been a part of this from the beginning. She's just one of the unsung volunteers who help with everything from selling tickets to decorating.
Like last night I was ironing tablecloths so we could put them out on the tables tonight, you know, and there's a lot of things that get done that people don't realize.
The race to opening night is almost over. Most of the show's proceeds go back into the building. They've improved the stage, added professional lighting, and on the outside, upgraded the foundation and roofing for what used to be the Sons of Norway Hall, and now serves as a community center. Antelope was a thriving town in the early 1900s. But when it didn't become the county seat, it slowly started to shrink. The centerpiece was Antelope School. Connie graduated in 1972, but by then her senior class numbered 6. Dale was there in 1978, his junior year, when the school burned and was never rebuilt.
I mean, it was a good place to grow up. We spent a lot of time there.
Today, fewer than 100 people live here, with the bar, a post office, and if somebody gets out of line, they still have the jail.
Because if you blink, you're pretty much through. Well, you have to go down to 55 miles an hour to go through Antelope. So it's a real town.
The day of the opening performance, and the crew is busy in nearby Plentywood. Director Connie is checking inventory at the furniture store.
I don't think I need to carry 4 lamps at a time.
Cast member Dale is finishing paperwork at the county's USDA office, and volunteer Diane puts in a full shift at the county treasurer. Soon, they'll all be in one place for an opening night performance on the prairie.
lights up around the door
know,
today.
how fancy.
It's not just an Antelope thing, it's a community thing.
They've always put on a very good meal, and it's nice to be waited on.
It's always really known for having exceptional food and great entertainment, so it's just awesome to see them pull it off every year.
Let's get this
Show on the road!
Woo! So without further ado, I present On the Air.
Opening night was a success.
With big goalie.
The right lines got a laugh,
Better yet, just the letters B-O.
and even when a line was missing,
The smiles and the laughter, that's what counts, you know, is watching people enjoy the show.
Wait for it. Wait for it.
We're going to do everything in our power to keep it going.
Just goes to show that it takes a community to do stuff like this, and you know, it's several communities involved, and it's just super cool.
if you happen to be at the intersection of Montana, North Dakota, and Canada during the holidays, swing on by and catch a show. The Antelope Dinner Theater plans to perform one play each year, which shows the weekend before Thanksgiving, plus a special matinee after the holiday. Well, that's all the time we have for this episode. We'd like to thank the fabulous volunteers who make Schmeckfest possible. This German Festival of Tasting is scheduled for the third weekend in March each year. Just find the town of Lustre on the map and join the fun. We enjoy finding good story ideas from you. If you'd like to share one, drop us a message on our Facebook page. Or you can send us a note at Backroads of Montana, University of Montana, Missoula, Montana, 59812. We've got more great stories to share and 2 lanes to travel. I'm John Twiggs, and we hope to see you out on the Backroads of Montana.
And there's plenty of room. Backroads of Montana is made possible with production support from the Greater Montana Foundation, encouraging communication on issues, trends, and values of importance to Montanans. The Big Sky Film Grant and the University of Montana.
It's my home. From mountain peaks to prairie lands, the places I have known. And I'm bound to ramble, yes, I'm bound to roam. And when I'm in off the road now, boys, Montana is my home. Coming in off the road now, boys, you know I'm heading home.